Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Finn worries about Steffy's paternity reaction and Carter's uncontrollable temptation. According to Tuesday, February 4th spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, John Finn Finnegan will attempt to comprehend the confirmation he recently received regarding Luna Nozawa's daughter. Finn must now decide what to do when the paternity test results showed that Poppy Nozawa was lying. Naturally, Finn will ultimately begin to consider Steffy Forrester and her reaction to this shocking revelation. Finn may want to keep the secret for a little time, because he is likely to be concerned that this revelation may ruin his family. Given that Finn and Steffy will soon be celebrating their anniversary, that is particularly true. We all know how much Finn detests keeping things from Steffy, yet he may choose to remain silent and prolong the period of calm before the storm. Now that she is aware that Luna has vanished from her former facility, Poppy can turn to Lee Finnegan for some updates. Poppy is aware that Luna is still incarcerated, but the officials will not tell her where Luna went. Poppy may be able to talk about missing Luna and all of her worries, as she will be calling Lee to Il Giardino. Could Lee recommend that Poppy seek guidance from the all-powerful Bill Spencer in order to obtain answers? In either scenario, Bill's cover-up will finally come undone. It's only a matter of time until Bill's activities are exposed, because B&B followers are aware that he placed Luna under house arrest and that she now resides under his roof. Carter Walton will have a hard time at Forrester Creations as Daphne Rose steps up her seduction tactics. Carter's temptation will undoubtedly get out of hand, but perhaps a break could be beneficial. By the middle of the week, Daphne will have bonded with Zend Forrester Dominguez, and since she is becoming too close to Carter, it is probable that Zend may interrupt her. In any case, Carter might not go too far with Daphne just yet, but she will undoubtedly follow through on her plan to entice him away from Hope Logan and assist the Forresters in taking back control of the business. According to previews for The Bold and the Beautiful, Steffy will be happy with Daphne's development and will continue to have optimistic predictions about the success of their scheme. Updates and spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful hint that Steffy Forrester and John Finn Finnegan are about to experience a major upheaval. A storm is rising that might rock their world to its foundation, just when Steffy was enjoying the joys of her marriage. Fasten your seatbelts for the ride. A great father is Finn Finnegan. Finn respects Kelly Spencer like his own child and is a great father to Hayes Forrester Finnegan. He clearly loves both children, and he and Steffy have a lovely family connection. But their peaceful existence is about to be upended. The drama is intensifying when Finn is finally identified as Luna Nozawa's father in the paternity issue surrounding her. When Steffy finds out about Luna's conception, she will undoubtedly have problems with Poppy Nozawa, especially considering her long-held secret. If Finn had an adult daughter from a more stable background, the situation would be much simpler. B&B spoilers: if there hadn't been so much tense history, Steffy Forrester would have accepted Luna as her stepdaughter. If Luna were still the kind girl that dated R.J. Forrester, we can only imagine how welcoming Steffy would be. But a lot has changed since then. After the terrible experience of being drugged and locked up, it's difficult to see Steffy ever putting her trust in Luna again. Steffy might not have survived the building collapse if Finn hadn't intervened to save her. Steffy barely avoided being another Luna victim after the terrible deaths of Paul Hollister and Tom Starr. Furthermore, Steffy is perfectly aware that Luna fabricated a paternity test to claim Bill Spencer as her biological father. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful: Steffy Forrester is fully aware of Luna Nozawa's identity. During that scandalous rendezvous in Zend Forrester Dominguez's bed, Luna was very conscious of what she was doing. Simply put, she has a dark past full of transgressions and wrongdoings that could follow Steffy for a very long time. This development will undoubtedly chill Steffy to the bone, especially because Luna is now under house arrest at Bill's place. She may worry that an ankle monitor won't be enough to prevent Luna from running away and causing trouble. Steffy might also worry that Bill would use his resources and connections to totally rescue Luna from her situation. Spoilers for B&B: does Steffy Forrester forbid Finn from Luna Nozawa? Given the circumstances, Steffy is probably going to think Finn should avoid Luna. She believes that there are just too many possible dangers for the kids she is raising with Finn. She might even adopt a strict stance, trying to stop Finn from dating Luna at all and giving a firm warning: their marriage is going to become more strained. Will Finn risk everything with Steffy to reunite with Luna, or will Steffy force him to choose between his wife and his daughter? Future spoilers indicate that Steffy will soon learn some startling information regarding Luna, so be prepared for the dramatic consequences. Steffy's strict demand: is the relationship between Finn and Luna at risk? Hope suspects Steffy of being Steffy's secret after Finn is confirmed as Luna's father. According to Monday, February 3rd spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Hope Logan told Steffy Forrester that nobody would challenge Carter Walton's authority. Steffy was still upset about the takeover, so Hope wondered why she returned to the company at all. Hope had a suspicion that Steffy wasn't only trying to preserve her family's heritage. Hope pressed for the truth because she believed it would be foolish to trust Steffy in the situation, despite Steffy's attempts to appear as though Hope was being paranoid. Carter attempted to review the specifics of Daphne Rose's, Muriel Hilaire, perfume launch in the interim, but his concentration was hampered by her overpowering aroma. Carter acknowledged that the scent was potent, but Daphne persisted in luring him in and flirting with him. Since Luna Nozawa was no longer present at the prison on Monday's B&B program, Poppy Nozawa persisted in asking for explanations. The prison official stated that Luna was still behind bars, but he was not allowed to talk about her current whereabouts. When the prison official finally abandoned her without providing any further details, Poppy became irate. Luna sobbed at Bill Spencer's estate, praising him for releasing her from house imprisonment. Luna might have died if she had remained in prison because she was being targeted by other violent prisoners. Luna reflected on her transgressions and the monster she had become. Luna rarely discussed what she did with Steffy, so Bill was taken aback when she did. During her confinement, Steffy pleaded for her release, so Luna told Bill she was sorry. The entire incident troubled Luna, who almost separated Steffy from her children and from John Finn Finnegan, Tanner Novlin, the only member of Luna's former life who ever showed her genuine concern. Luna thought back to her only happy childhood memories of spending time with Finn. She predicted that Steffy would never again view her the same way after what Luna had done to him. As he conducted the DNA test in Finn's office, his anxiety increased, but he knew he had to learn the truth. The timer alerted Finn to the results after he flashed back to rescuing captive Steffy from Luna. When Finn eventually saw the results and was told that Luna was his daughter, he became extremely alarmed upon realizing that Poppy had lied. According to teasers on The Bold and the Beautiful, there will be more surprises, particularly after Luna learns of the startling bio-dad news. With his heart pounding in his ears, Finn's hands shook as he held on to the table's edge. The solution to the question that had been bothering him for weeks was contained in an envelope with the DNA test results, which were sitting directly in front of him. He had sleepless nights reliving every exchange, every fabrication, and every well-planned trick Poppy had used to conceal Luna's paternity. And now he had the truth at his fingertips. Was he prepared for it, though? He inhaled deeply and looked up at Poppy, who was standing across from him with her hands held securely in front of her but her face unreadable. She was more anxious than he had ever seen her before. That in itself convinced him that whatever was in this envelope would be a game-changer. "Will you be opening it?" Poppy's question was hardly audible above a whisper. Finn took a deep breath. "Should I?" His voice was a challenge with a jagged edge. He was questioning her whether she had been deceiving him all along, not merely whether he should open the envelope. Poppy opened her mouth as like she wanted to speak, but she held back. Finn only needed that hesitancy as confirmation. He ripped the package open and retrieved the document with a slash. His surroundings briefly became blurry as his eyes examined the words. "The chance of paternity is 99.99%. The air rushed out of his lungs. His thoughts whirled. His whole body jolted when he saw the indisputable confirmation in black and white, even if he had suspected it. He was the father of Luna. He gazed up at Poppy and let forth a harsh, bitter laugh. With a tone of incredulity, he stated, "So, it's true. You knew all along." Tears filled Poppy's eyes. Finn, He interrupted her, shaking his head, saying, Don't just stand there and pretend that you didn't control the whole thing. You gave me the impression that I was unrelated to Luna. Poppy, you told me a lie. She walked toward him, tears streaming down her face. I was attempting to keep her safe. To keep you safe. The entire story is unknown to you. Finn laughed without a sense of humor. So why don't you begin informing me? Since I'm tired of being in the dark. Poppy let out a shaky breath and wiped away her tears. It's difficult. Finn slammed the paper down on the table and said, No. It's easy. You denied me access to my daughter. The story was in your hands. I want to know everything now. Poppy paused, but she realized that now there was no escape. She had finally been confronted by the reality. Finn, too? He wasn't going to leave without finding all the answers he was looking for. Ridge was standing in the dark office, staring at the message on his phone while tapping restlessly with his fingers on the edge of his desk. He had promised to meet Brooke. He let out a deep breath, aware that what he was going to do was not only dangerous but also well thought out, strategic, and most importantly, essential. Control, deceit, and ensuring Carter never saw the truth coming were the goals here, not rekindling old passions or giving in to nostalgia. Ridge had been closely monitoring Carter's activities for weeks, seeing him get closer to Daphne, a woman whose appeal was both seductive and frightening. Although Ridge had some concerns about her, he was unable to pinpoint the underlying factor at work. Ridge realized he needed a diversion now that emotions were rising and relationships were changing. He needed to deceive Carter, to make him doubt what he believed to be true, to throw him off balance. And working with Brooke is the ideal approach to accomplish that. His greatest weakness, his greatest affection, and the one person who could draw attention the moment she entered a room had always been Brooke. Carter would be too distracted to see what was actually going on behind the scenes if Ridge was successful in playing his cards, and gave the impression that he was rekindling his relationship with Brooke. It was a grand strategy, one that Ridge knew was required to safeguard everything he had constructed, but which was based on deceit. Upon Brooke's arrival, her presence immediately filled the room. Her golden hair fell easily over her shoulders, and her eyes gleamed with a mix of wonder and caution. She was radiant. Ridge, she uttered in a quiet yet forceful tone. It's unexpected. No matter how much time had gone by between them, Ridge's trademark smirk had always been able to draw her back in. Perhaps unexpected. However, you cannot deny that you have a slight curiosity. She tilted her head and folded her arms. Are you curious about what specifically? He lowered his voice and took a step closer. About us. About our former selves. Regarding what we could be once more. Brooke's countenance was unreadable as she regarded him intently. We've been this way before, Ridge. Something or someone always gets in the way while we are trying to get back together. That's precisely why I need your trust, Ridge stated with ease. I need to know you're with me because something is happening right now that I can't explain just yet. She paused, but Ridge could tell he had her just where he needed her by the way her lips moved and the glimmer of emotion in her eyes. This was about misinformation, not just outdated sentiments. Additionally, Ridge's strategy would advance one step if Carter fell for the ruse. All he needed to do now was play the game flawlessly. Was Finn present when Luna was conceived? The mysteries get deeper. Rumors and spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful hint that John Finn Finnegan might have seen something inappropriate the night Luna Nozawa was conceived. Did Poppy Nozawa and her unidentified lover, Luna's biological father, get caught by Finn? Finn Finnegan can't be the father, Jack Finnegan isn't. The investigation into Luna's true parentage must take a fresh turn once it was discovered that Jack is not her father. Finn is still a viable contender to be the baby daddy, but it's obvious that Poppy's nephew is in possession of some important information. But there's a big problem with the idea that Finn is the father. Since Jack is his father, Finn's DNA wouldn't match if Jack's did. We are once again in the dark about Luna's real paternity because Jack has been ruled out. But it appears Finn is aware of something and might be hiding it. Poppy Nozawa is still hiding something, and Lee Finnegan shares her confusion with Finn Finnegan. It seems that Lee Finnegan, Naomi Matsuda, has informed Finn of the results and her own confusion during the next week on January 27th. Lee seemed prepared to move on from the matter, but Finn still has unanswered questions for his Aunt Poppy. The fact that Jack's DNA doesn't match rules out the notion that Finn was Luna's father because of a vague, drug-induced meeting that he may or may not recall. The thought of Finn Finnegan asking questions makes Poppy Nozawa anxious. Finn's inquisitive questions make Poppy uncomfortable, which is odd because if she had nothing to hide, his queries wouldn't really affect her. This implies that she knows he's right, but what might that something be? Here's what we've pieced together. Poppy had a crazy history and was involved with a number of partners during her careless years. She probably lost track of how many men she was seeing because of her drug problems. Lee, Jack, and Finn were also living with her. Furthermore, we are certain that Tom Starr, Jack, and Bill Spencer are not Luna's father, therefore, who might it be? Did the Finnegans reside in San Francisco, where Luna Nozawa was conceived? If Finn is asking questions, it indicates that he either knows something or is trying to put together what he can't remember, anxious to find out what's missing. In any case, he's probably the only person who could know about Poppy's amorous relationships during the time Luna was conceived. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. Did Finn see Luna get conceived? The mysteries get deeper. Poppy will probably not be happy with Finn's interest in Luna now that she has been able to get rid of Lee's incessant probing. This might be laying the groundwork for future conflict between the aunt and nephew. One important detail is absent, though. If Luna was conceived in San Francisco, the Finnegans also resided there. If so, there is another alternative. Who else was a San Francisco resident before Jack Finnegan, a lawyer? According to reports, Luna was born in 2004. At that time, there was another person who resided in San Francisco and practiced law. Is it possible that Storm Logan, played by William DeVry, was Jack's legal partner at the time and that Finn overheard him having an affair with Poppy? The thought that Finn is Luna's biological father is causing fans to lose their minds, but it would be even worse if Luna manipulated Will Spencer into hooking up with him. Will is the nephew of the late Storm, and Storm's heart pulses in the breast of his mother, Katie Logan. Although it seems Flo Logan has gone away, Luna would gain aunts, cousins, and a half-sister even if she might not be able to get in touch with her birth father. Red and blue lights flashed against the darkening skyline, while sirens blared in the distance, adding to the tense atmosphere. They had found a body, cold, motionless, and mysterious. And in the middle of everything? Poppy's. The revelation sparked a flurry of curiosity and sent shockwaves across the city, spreading like wildfire. Who was the victim? What had caused their deaths? More significantly, who was at fault? It was a long, dangerously long list of suspects. Poppy developed enemies as a result of her secrets. Those who had suffered injustice, deception, or treachery. Finn's pulse was pounding as he stood motionless at the crime scene. He had just begun to comprehend the reality of Luna's fatherhood, and now this? Questions raced through his head, each one more pressing than the one before it. Does Poppy have a threat? Or worse, could it be her fault? Next to arrive was Steffi, whose face was unreadable. Finn could feel the stress in her posture as she viewed the situation with practiced poise. She whispered, "This isn't just some random crime. This is what someone wanted to happen." Investigators descended upon the scene, collecting witness testimony and assembling the chronology. Although the victim's name was still unknown, conjecture was rife. While Ridge and Brooke exchanged glances, both of them visibly uneasy, Daphne was whispering softly to Carter. Then there was Bill, looking on from a distance with an extremely sad expression, as though he already knew more than he was admitting. All eyes were on Poppy when she eventually showed up, her hands shaking and her face pale. Was it a shock? Fear? Or something else? Finn slowly moved forward, observing her response, and said, "Poppy, what are your knowledge on this?" Her eyes wavered as she struggled with conflicting feelings. I'm not sure, she stumbled. I received an invitation to come here. I didn't. However, the lead detective came forward before she could finish. Ms. We have some questions for you, Papi Nozawa. The gathering fell silent. The truth was out, and the mystery had started. They were all ready to embark on a perilous and gloomy journey. As Bill paced his office, his mind racing with damage control tactics, the tension in the air was evident. He had been cautious, planning each step to ensure that no loose ends were left. Now, however, it was obvious, someone had figured it out. Someone had been observing, anticipating the ideal opportunity. And that time had come. Hope was the ideal diversion across town. She was keeping important players busy whether she realized it or not. Steffi was occupied with Hope's most recent move in the fashion industry, a conflict between ambition and ego that diverted everyone's focus from the storm that was developing elsewhere. No one was looking in Bill's direction, at least not just yet, thanks to Hope's charisma, unwavering determination, and intricate relationships with both Thomas and Liam. However, Brooke was constantly ahead of the game. When she first learned about Bill's recent activities, she had a feeling something wasn't right. There was more to it than business, there was something darker and more profound. Additionally, Brooke Logan never disregarded her gut. Therefore, Brooke was laying her own trap while Bill was frantically trying to avoid the eventual catastrophe. The timing of the ambush was ideal. Brooke entered his room with an unreadable expression, just as Bill felt he had a moment to catch his breath and told himself that he had bought himself more time. We must have a conversation, she stated in a calm and collected tone. Bill leaned back against his desk and grinned. Brooke, you could have simply asked whether you wanted to see me. There is no need for showmanship. Brooke, however, wasn't having any fun. Bill, stop the act. I am aware of your activities. The smile vanished. Just enough for Brooke to realize she had hit a chord, his jaw tensed. You're going to tell me everything now, she added, taking a step closer and fixing her eyes on his. Or I will ensure that you regret it. When he was trapped, Bill knew it. He wasn't going down without a fight, though. Now that the game had shifted, the question was who would move next and if checkmate would result.